Sometimes it's weeks after fermentation that your wine that smelled like strawberries and rhubarb smells like an ashtray.
A South Okanagan winery shared that they won't be able to produce any wine from last year's grapes due to the heavy smoke taint plaguing their crops. Other winemakers in the Okanagan Valley are now working through their own batches.
It'd be somewhat foolish to think that smoke taint is not going to be an issue for, I would say, the majority of the wineries in Okanagan Valley, just based on the year. We were pretty aware that there was, the potential for that to happen. So we did start, trying to do some things in the winery to mitigate that as soon as we saw, how long that smoke was setting in for.
There's a little bit of hints of it, but nothing offensive, thank goodness. Because there's nothing like doing all that hard work and then final product is, just filled with like high concentration of smoke taint.
While wineries work to mitigate smoke taint, the decision to use the grapes will come down to how impacted they are.
Every winery goes through this where there is wine that you can't blend away or you can't definitely hide that. Those tanks end up just sitting around or being poured down the drain. I mean, there is a certain line where you can't cross it because it's not good for you, for your winemaking, your reputation, and for the valley.
A Kelowna-based lab that performs smoke taint analysis saw several dozen wineries send in a couple thousand samples worth of wine to help identify the compounds.
I would say in a large percentage, it did appear that the risk was higher. From my experience specifically, the compounds that were present were showing up in different ratios than we would usually see, say, than in a smoke season that's closer, in a wildfire season that's closer to harvest.
Heading forward, Hayward hopes to see more wineries submit to the database in good or bad years.
We really want to promote this building of a database. We have a close relationship with the research group at UBC Okanagan as well, and to work on just building more and more knowledge around the area. So the more data, the better.
Winemakers will head forward into the next season, preparing their grapes as best as possible.
We're always going to be super hyper-vigilant of fire risk. And I think pretty much all wineries are in the Okanagan.
For GasNet News in the Okanagan, I'm Casey Richardson.